of the morning. He's primed in his favourite location. He's not sprung into action. Okay, fair enough. The only trouble is, this is not real fish, as you might imagine, so it doesn't really float in the same way a fish might do, and so it's going to sink to the bottom, and then he doesn't get his reward for doing that. So we'll try again. He's looking a little bit. He's actually fairly new back on the team for fishing. Over the last few months, we've had to stop any fishing activity over the watering hole here as a direct result of avian influenza. We don't want the birds actually going near the watering holes during that part. So he's been catching pieces of food on the wing. Oh, here he goes. Look at this. He hasn't been fishing. Wow! To give you a taste of what this bird is capable of hunting and catching, we'll start down at the smaller end of the... Cavelli loves meerkats in the wild. So they have this kind of very rounded diet, a huge variety of different types of prey. And the success of this bird really is because of two things, I think. The first is this bird has stealth hunting on her side. And in fact, this time, have a listen. Now let's face it, if you're a meerkat, phobic. Now I've told you all this very scary predatory stuff about this species, because in actual fact, as an individual, Cavelli is one of the nicest birds you could ever wish to meet in your life. She does all sorts of different jobs here at the Trust. She flies every day as part of our Wings of Africa display, just as she's doing here today. She also see a bird like Cavelli flying in a kind of natural time of day. Wow, that was low. You notice the longer she flies, Tolkien's still here, he's perfectly fine, he's having a bit of a break for a molt at the moment, just at the bottom left-hand corner of the grounds here. So Cavelli's kind of taken over in the last 3 or 4 weeks or so, but they kind of develop a routine, and you can see that Cavelli has been flying very low over the top of your heads, not because we've asked her to do that, but because that's natural and instinctive behaviour. You'll see even when she flies over open ground, as she's about to, she still kind of hugs the ground as she goes. That creates less resistance for her. It means she doesn't have to work quite straight across the arena.
We ain't going to see it now.
This is a bird who goes by the name of Angola, everybody. And Angola is unmistakably a secretary bird. This is a species that is endemic to Africa. You don't find them anywhere else, and there's only one type of secretary bird. We go back to the owls, there's over 230 different species across the world. There is only one secretary bird, using height to their advantage. And this is exactly what Angola would be doing out there in the wild. So he's by far and away the tallest bird of prey that we work with. In actual fact, the tallest bird of prey species in the world, standing over 3 feet tall from the top of his head to the tip of his toes when he's kind of at full tilt. And he's pretty quick on his feet, but he has become synonymous with snakes in the wild. In actual fact, their scientific name is Sagittarius serpentarius. It roughly translates to the archer of snakes. And we're going to try and demonstrate for you why they're called this now. So, Simon, if you're very careful, Simon's also our expert snake wrangler today, you might just find behind that pond there a snake. It's very, very casually done. Looking out for Angola's reaction as well. Look at this. Okay. Kind of looks a little bit lifeless at the moment, but Angola is hopefully still going to try to demonstrate exactly what a secretary bird does when they catch up to a snake. Watch this. They deliver one hell of a killer kick. Sadly passed away just this year, about 3 or 4 months ago, but was part of an original study into just how powerful this kick could be. And we blink the human eye. They are exceptionally powerful birds. In actual fact, if you scale up that snake to human size, that's the equivalent of the average man having a grand piano dropped on his head. Enormous amounts of force to kill it very, very quickly. Very important when this snake is essentially built and adapted to bite back with venom. Simon, I reckon that snake's probably dead now, isn't it? Marvellous job showing us everything that secretary birds is all about. Such a bizarre bird, such a memorable species, and one that we're very, very lucky to be able to house here as part of our living collection. Thank you very much, Simon. This bird's name is Fagin. He's going to be heading right up to the top of the grounds there to meet with my colleague Cedric. He's also going to be flying right to the back there with my other colleagues right up on the back of the balcony. So this bird is going to be flying right over the top of your heads here. Now I have to say, when we introduce people to all the different species of birds that we work with, we tend to get a fairly similar reaction, but it's all for a very important reason, which is why I find these birds every bit as beautiful as a barn owl. Because let's think about it for a few minutes. A barn owl looks the way they do, not because they want to look cute and cuddly, but because they're adapted to do a certain job out there in the wild, and they are very, very good at it. The same goes for vultures. Just like Fagin, will fly longer distances to find water after they've eaten to have a bath in than they will fly to find that meal in the first place. So it's very important.
Ladies and gentlemen, our wings are back.
Absolutely amazing. Then as the rain started to fall, we were joined by two other species of birds. We've got Timon and Rafiki. There's Rafiki there. Timon is just coming round the back of us here over in the far distance. These are two northern bald ibis, sometimes called wool.
He is wearing a tracking device because he is so good at wandering. We know that he can wander. We know what he has to do. So it's just a bit of peace. Pigeons are just wandering. Keep your eyes on him. Simon's going to start to put him through his paces. Now when he really does start to commit to the attack, you'll really start to see him motor now. He can really put the burners on. And when he sees that lower pad, he is in full adrenaline attack. He doesn't stop. You'll notice that the little swallows are starting to give him a bit of hassle as well. There's these sort of birds in Africa. So although those birds have come all the way from Africa, they're seeing a natural predator take to the skies. You can really appreciate what he does now. Look at that. And he's in full attack mode at the moment. So at the first part of his show, he's literally in cruise control. And as soon as Simon... Look at that. They can really fill the sky, these guys. Now this is classified as a very small vulture species, but they have this almighty wingspan that really commands the air. I'm not going to do too much about the conservation part of it now. Tom this morning did an amazing job of talking to you all about the poaching crisis in Africa, how it's affecting vultures and it's causing massive decline to them. I don't need to do that again. What I want to highlight is just how endangered these birds are. You are looking at a critically endangered species of bird. bird in the wild. They need our help. They need our vultures are on their way. Here they come. So get ready to duck. They're going to get right in and amongst us. You might even have a vulture sat next to you. If you do have a vulture sat next to you, please resist the urge to reach out and stroke or poke. They will savage you, okay? Just enjoy them being up close and personal. Here we go. And Ronnie and Jenny, who are flying Team Vulture this afternoon, will do their absolute best to try and take out every single section of the audience. We're going to leave nobody uncovered by Team Vulture. We're on the way. Here we go. It's going to continue, it's not going to stop. You need to have your wits about you now, because there's 4 vultures flying in all different areas of the arena. If you are on the right hand side, so if you are on my right hand side over here, you're going to have to duck a little bit lower than the people on the left hand side, because they're flying downwind at you lot. Can you see they're going a bit quicker? So duck lower over here. Well done. Basically, they've got the wind up their bottoms when they're flying over to you guys. It means they're completely out of control. We've got them all flying in formation. Sundance Kid is in the audience. They do like to steal food from you. Here they come again. But they're great fun, right? Have a look at the aviary that they live in as you leave the arena later on. There's 5 hooded vultures in there. Mighty Mite is not allowed out in demonstrations if it's busier than about 50 people. Because Mighty Mite, he is an absolute thief. He will get right in amongst the audience and try and steal food. Here they come again. We're going right through the middle. This is on the breeze, why they're sort of favouring the bottom rows. There goes the Sundance Kid. Look at him, he's off. I love that bird. Watch him take to the air. Okay, shall we try and do a couple more? It's on the right hand side. Look at the size of that one. And it's interesting when you've got the 2 different species lined up side by side. This chap, don't forget about hooded vultures. We've got Simba, the white-backed vulture. We have our team of